This is in response to Billy's Talking Points memo from Tuesday, August 18th, 2015. Is the American system of justice collapsing in the United States? And right in the first sentence, Billy gets right to it. The fault of this whole thing is liberals, liberal Democrats. And he starts off by talking about all the crime that he claims is skyrocketing. And yes, crime has gone up in all the major cities. And that, let's say in Washington, D.C., the murder rate is 30% higher this year than last year. The chief of police indicated that she felt that it was a result of guns. And what else? And in Baltimore, the murder rate is also up significantly this year over last year. And they don't have an idea as of right now what's going on. But Billy has the answer, and that is, it is the liberal Democrats who are at fault, and he goes on to cite all these statistics. And, at the end of it, he talks a little bit about drugs, and then he talks about how Obama wants to be lenient to drug offenders. And then he conflates drug offenders with pushers, indicating that pushers should be treated just as if they are drug offenders. So he conflates these two types of things. And of course, in the meantime, he's blaming Democrats for the whole thing. Then he goes on to blame illegal immigrants for a tremendous amount of crime. And then goes in to talk about the fact that there is anarchy, there is chaos, there is unmanageability, there is lawlessness here in the United States. And it's all because of liberal Democrats. Now, the reason why I'm a little bit excited about this, because Billy really did raise his voice as he was hammering home his points about all of this stuff. And the question I have is, Billy's not stupid. If I remember, he went to Harvard, and he should be pretty smart. And did he bring up guns once? No, he didn't bring up guns at all. Now let's take an example of Chicago. We know, and statistics have shown, that, the people who are using guns in Chicago aren't buying them in Chicago. They're buying them from gun shops that are legal in other states, that are siphoned and brought into Chicago and used. And they've found quite a few of them, and they know which legal gun shops are being used to it, but they cannot close those legal gun shops. So does Billy mention guns at all? Does he mention them once? No, he does not. Does he mention the fact that the unemployment rate for black teenagers up from 18 to 24 is up to 50%, I believe, or is it over 30%? It's an astronomically high number. Does he talk about any increase in the minimum wage? No. Does he talk about increasing the minimum wage so that single mothers can make more money? Does he talk about an increased jobs program? Does he talk about increasing funding for education? Does he talk about any type of what would they used to call that back in the day when you had shop and you had motor works and stuff like that? Vocational stuff? No, he doesn't mention any of that stuff. He doesn't mention the fact that quite often the Democratic hands are tied in terms of how much they can spend on the school system. Not always. And of course, Rob Emanuel didn't do any good on that. But Billy wants to blame everything on the liberal Democrats. Now, I don't know where he's coming from today, why he brought it up. Maybe it was a slow news day. He had the Donald on later. But, the whole thing is that Democrats are not soft on crime. And that's what Billy is trying to indicate, that they are completely soft on crime. And that's why there's a spike in the crime rates, is because they're soft on crime. Now, remember, police forces are separate from the mayor's office, and the mayor doesn't want that bad publicity. He wants, or she wants, to have a safe city. So they are working hand in hand with the police force in terms of finding ways, in terms of making the best of the situation with what they have. And remember, the tax base in a lot of these cities has gone down tremendously in the last 40 or 50 years as manufacturing has moved out of that area, and there is not as much that has come in. So there's a lot of things that are going on there that Billy doesn't want to talk about at all. And he's getting righteously angry about the whole thing. And he knows the answers, and it has to do with three letters, or four, G-U-N-S. All right. Does he talk about that once? No. That's why we have problems. He won't even acknowledge the problems. Now, just as an aside, this is why I really love Billy. is because he has this righteous indignation about everything. And he is so right about all these things. But it's like a fifth grader, and it reminds me of like a religious fanatic. Whenever you get to a point where they have to accept something, they go back to their original point and they won't move from that point. That's sort of where Billy's at. And I love the way he is so adamant about his response to this. Now, one other thing. Did Billy give a single solitary solution to any of this? Of course not. He's just in the blame game. It's really surprising that a guy that went to Harvard, but I gotta give him the props because, hey, he knows his audience. He knows how to talk to his audience. He knows how to get excited for his audience. They're the ones that are making him the money, so why should he change? Okay? All right, just remember, guns. Yeah, that's what's causing it.